is going on, guys? It's Yoji and welcome to the ultimate, definitive and final update on my Ignite Inquisitor Divine Ire build that I made in SSF Blight. In this video I just want to show you like the last few finishing touches, the last few gear upgrades I made before leveling to level 98, which I already did. And yeah, this is the highest level character that I have ever made, and this was my league goal for Blight League, leveling one level higher again, just as last league, than any Yoji has ever leveled to before, and that's level 98. And I think the experiment of seeing how far I can push a single character kind of ends here. I think this is basically the conclusion of it, and I think after level 98, the experience is basically you have to get like roughly the same, like a little bit extra experience every time for like 99 and 100. And the experience penalty gets a bit harsher, so it's going to be still a huge grind, and there's probably something to be learned from that. But currently, at this very moment, I'm not really too enthusiastic about leveling even further than 98. I think there's not really much character progression to be gained for those levels, and 98 levels is plenty to finish a build, even in SSF, and I think I had a lot of fun. I think I learned a lot from this, even like what you can actually achieve in SSF, even with like somewhat a limited playtime, which I had. You can actually get really far in SSF if you just keep playing your build and upgrading your build one step at a time. I did about 7, I think, Uber Elders in on this character, and I think 4 of them deathless. The first few were like a bit tricky. I think the first one was the one that I uploaded the video of. If you want to check that out, I can post it in the description below. And then I gave it a second try, which actually I got deathless, and then I had another one where I died, and then I basically had the fight down on the character. And I even did a fight that you see in the background here where I don't have any auras up, because I kind of wanted to show you some footage of what the build and the damage might look like with Malevolence damage disabled and Discipline disabled and Clarity, but that doesn't really do much. Just to show you that the build could do Uber Elder even with a lot less crazy gear, or like a lot less involved gearing than I have currently. And next up I want to show you all the upgrades I did. I did an upgrade to my chest piece. I finally multi-modded the chest piece that I've been using for a while now. I finally got an upgrade to my boots, which I think upgraded around level 70 something, and they stayed with the character till level 97, which is the stuff that sometimes happens in SSF. Another fun fact, I did not find a Rolling Flame jewel yet. This character started as a Fireball character, and I just didn't get a Rolling Flame, and instead I got a Stormfire ring, so I made it the Divine Ire character that it is right now, which is cool. And I love how in SSF, like when you play Self-Found, you kind of have to make work with what you get, and like make the build work around what you can get, and you can't really rely on even getting the most normal and common drops. You can't even rely on those, and instead you might get some crazy drops. So I had a Void Forge drop, I had a lots of Watcher's Eyes drops from Uber Elder, I had a Star Forge drop from my first Shaper, lots of very rare uniques. I got 2 Carcass Jacks lying around, which I'm making a build with currently, by the way. I'm trying like some Ice Nova Frostbolt shenanigans on a Hierophant right now, self-casting those Ice Nova Frostbolts, which I will probably talk about in the next video. So subscribe if you want to see that, so you don't miss it. And yeah, I had a lot of awesome drops, lots of more like crazy rare items, like don't even remember because I'm not using them. Lots of Threshold Jewels as well, but no Rolling Flame, so I had to make work with this character, which honestly is probably a lot more hard to gear. So yeah, let's have a look at the gear. I think I replaced the helmet as well, got like a nice upgrade there. But most pieces will still look familiar to you, and I used around, I think, several thousand alterations now on gloves, because I wanted to get fire damage over time multiplier on gloves, which can roll on a 80 plus Shaper base, can the highest roll, and I didn't get it. So that's also something that can happen, but I crafted some really nice gears, as you will see, and respect some passive points as well, and the character is now really beefy. It has 12,000 effective life on a hybrid character, which is 6k, above 6k life, and above 6k ES on top to boot, which is thanks to the awesome chest piece that I multi-modded. So yeah, let's have a look at the gear, the character, all that type of stuff that I put together, and yeah, let me show you around the character a bit. Alrighty, here it is now, and yeah, as I said, level 98 Inquisitor. I played a little more. I got some more experience. I have still some maps rolled. I might still be playing this. Because the crazy thing is, even with like 98 levels, I'm still enjoying playing the character itself. Just the progression got a bit stale, that's basically it. So yeah, still using the same Fizz as extra lightning amulet. Still got the crazy 300 ES plus physical gem shield that I've been using for a while now. And I got this new helmet, which is I crafted with an essence of, I have forgotten which, one of the essences that gives you +2 to socketed aura gems as a guaranteed roll. And I hit a decent hybrid ES life resistance and the aura roll on this, and I crafted life, and it's pretty damn good. Especially like since I got this chest piece, which has among others +1 to active skill gems, which puts my divine ire to a total of 23, +1 from itself, +1 from my shield, and +1 from the chest. +1 from the scepter would have been possible, but I still have this multi-modded thing, and I finished it not with tier 1 cast speed from another exalt, which I could have used for higher cast speed, but instead I opted for the more reliable arcane surge on kill, just to make this build a little bit more smooth to play. Still using these gloves that which dropped like this from a delve. Yeah, it's not really replaceable. ES gloves would have kind of been nicer, but since I'm aiming for having a 50-50 ES and life pool, I don't really need ES gloves. And gloves don't give that much ES anyways. I got the commandment of blades, which is kind of cool because it's like a physical spell, which then gets 100% converted to lightning from like all the stuff I have. So this actually like just hits stuff actually pretty hard for enchantment. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I got a new belt, crafted some damage on this, and I got a few really nice jewels. This is like a really cool jewel. Gives me really nice life, gives me some ES, and gives me physical damage to spells, so that's pretty good. So yeah, the chest piece. This is basically like kind of like a unique item in itself. I love how with the Veil crafts you can actually make your own kind of like tailor-made unique items for your builds, which I think is really awesome. So this is the chest piece that I made, has multi-mod and the +1 to active skill gems. I put life on it because life is what I'm more struggling to get. I could scale my ES like through the roof because of the stuff that I'll show you next, and I'm actually trying to get more life than ES at this point. I gain 10% of maximum life as extra ES, and together with this jewel right here, the Glorious Vanity, I get, which gives me another 20% from this corrupted soul keystone, not 20%. I get 30% of my life as extra ES, which is pretty crazy. So I have 3k, 6k, it gives me 3k ES. And it also gives me some lightning damage, leech is life, some damage over time, some cast speed. I actually have some pretty good rolls, movement speed and curse effect, and the attack damage doesn't do anything. But I also get some more curse effect, and I get chaos res. So that's actually pretty decent, because I'm using a curse on hit setup with ally weakness. I'm actually getting something out of the curse effect. And chaos res on a hybrid build is even nicer. Chaos resistance is actually the one thing that I think this build doesn't have enough. I would prefer to have around 10% positive. So chaos damage is a kind of like the weakness of hybrid build, as you can imagine, because that's where my ES doesn't work. So if I get hit with chaos, I only have 6k life and that's it. I do have some Taste of Hate defenses against physical damage, so against anything but chaos damage I'm pretty well set. But since I switched up my helmet, which I said this one doesn't have any chaos resistance hybrid craft, unlike my shield, for example, which does have that. Yeah, these boots just allow me to be a lot more free with gearing. It has a lot of life, decent movement speed, and a lot of resistances for such a high life boot, which I think is pretty awesome. And also, I would love to craft run some labs and craft a stun avoidance if you've killed recently on this at some point, but didn't get around to do it yet because I was busy mapping and farming Uber Elders and getting to level 98. And I didn't want to die to lab traps at like 97.9. So yeah, but that will be another upgrade that I'm probably not gonna get because I'm kind of finished with the character. But that's something my old boots had, which was really good. So yeah, that's basically the whole thing. So using the shock nearby enemies stuff, I was able to unspec out of this node. The movement speed was kind of nice to have, but I mainly had this for the dexterity and for the attack speed, but I have a lot of attack speed, so it doesn't really matter that much. And this allowed me to get this cluster, which I think the extra life leech is worth a lot more. Get some ES leech here, so I'm releaching life and ES from our spell damage, and I'm regenning about, what is it, 12, 15, 30%, I don't know, 13%, 15%, crazy amounts of life regeneration on top of the flask. I do have a Taste of Hate, I have a Basalt, so physical damage is covered as well. And yeah, 12k, yes, this build is insanely tanky. I survive, without flasks up, I can survive Shaper Slams in the UL to fight when I'm at full HP. So that's about how tanky this build is. Same for like normal Shaper as well. If I get slammed, it doesn't matter. If I have Taste of Hate and if I have my Basalt up, it's even better. And because of the ailment immunity from Inquisitor, which you get from this, I'm actually able to like run these flasks as I'm doing right now. A Adrenaline Quicksilver with increased duration and a Basalt with curse removal, and that's kind of like it. I don't even need bleed removal on this. I could actually run another utility flask if I wanted to. Like, I don't know. What would you run? You could run a balanced Wise Oak for defenses if you really wanted to, or anything really. You could use a Amethyst flask and get your Chaos Res that way. That would be good. I don't think you need a life flask, but I like running one. Mainly because my chaos resistance is low. If my chaos res would be like 20% plus or like 15% positive, I would not run this, which kind of would make sense to run a amethyst then, right? Right. Maybe I didn't think that one perfectly through, but yeah, anything else that I didn't mention is stayed the same. So mainly I picked up this from the extra skill points that I got by unspecking these. Still got the bleed immune Watcher's Eye, still got this jewel, which I'm using since level 70 or 80 or whatever as well, like for a long time now. And yeah, just some basic. Oh yeah, I put it in the phasing jewel. I had a different jewel in here, and I got this jewel. And since I'm using a Quicksilver, a Silver Flask anyways, which I basically want permanent uptime from, I can get phasing instead of onslaught on kill. So that makes, especially delving and dashing through lots of mobs a lot more smooth and a lot more, like, makes the ease of play a lot nicer overall. So yeah, that's basically the build. Anything else I want to cover? Not really. Using this helps with chaos damage, reduced chaos taken, caustic round effect, and immune to poison. That does really help. And this is against stuns, because, I mean, now my life pool is actually big enough so I don't get annoyed by stuns anymore, which is pretty cool. So I don't really need the stun avoidance on the boots. Maybe you can get something else as well, some attack and cast speed or whatever. That would be kind of decent as well. So yeah, that's a character. Hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed this. I'm just sporadically playing Blight League at the moment. Mainly done with like all the main content. So I'll put out a video whenever I really feel like it, maybe something about the Hierophant next, and then wait for the announcement of 3.9 and 4.0, which will happen on the 15th November, which I might like stream a bit or just watch on Twitch, not really decided, and then I'm gonna make some trailers. That's basically that. So yeah, thank you to all my patrons for supporting me throughout all of this league. It's been pretty awesome, and I'll see you latest either in the Hierophant video, or I will see you on the trailers. Have fun, guys. Bye bye.